guys, it's Liz. I have just put out a new bleh trade in trading today. We're shorting the nasty underbelly of crypto. We're going after a really stupid, nearly bankrupt crypto miner that's getting killed by the Texas heat wave, of all things. I was honestly surprised they even had options available, but they do. You'll want to get into them quickly though, because this is basically a penny stock and the puts are going to move fast. That trade, along with the full story, is available for free right here in Trading Today. Just sign up at the link. Now you know me, I only trade the dark side. But there's actually a ton of money on the bright side in crypto right now. I don't know where to find it, but Nick Black does. And he has just released the secret formula that helped him make a 2,700% gain on a crypto called Neo, a 6,200% gain on a crypto called Stellar, a 14,344% gain on Ripple, and a ton more. It's all part of his new crypto service, Digital Heavyweights. And here's the cool part. I hit up Gabe to get you a special deal only for Trading Today readers. Call this number and tell Gabe I sent you, and you'll get 30 days of Tom's microcurrency trader service for free when you sign up for an annual subscription to Digital Heavyweights. Again, call Gabe right here at this number and tell him I sent you. See you soon.
And now the heavyweight himself, Nick Black, going live in 5, 4, 3, 2.
You're so creepy, Pew. When you say that, Pew.
Why did you have to set that in there right before you started? Dude, that was like, you could have just started with a Pew, but no, you had to put...
You're like, ugh. Here, let me subtext. Let me subtext what you're doing. Oh, I'm very creepy. I eat applesauce because my dentures hurt in the egg at night.
Just get,
I have to gum my food.
Stop. No. We have a show to do. Let's just get on with the show. I don't know what you're doing right now. Let's make it happen. Nick, you can pew all you want.
Okay. Show coming up. 3, 2, 1. Okay, look. I have a question. We need to come up with a cool word. You know the people that are the digital heavyweights, people that have joined our thing? Yeah, so that we know when they're on, you know how like Voz has like the $ thing and people put like $ signs? We need one like that too. Is there like an emoji that's like a belt or like a cool
boxing glove or something?
There's got to be a boxing glove.
There's got to be a
boxing glove.
I mean, they could just add like DHW to their name, or that's what Chris's guys. They all add NT
there's a shoe store.
To their name.
There's a shoe store called DHW, isn't there? Or DH.
You want to see? I'd say just put your boxing gloves in chat. Put your boxing gloves in chat.
It's DSW, Digital Shoe Warehouse. I think.
Let me check the emoji list really quick.
But you know what? DSW is dope.
There's a small.
Okay, we're gonna have an emoji contest. Whoever can come up with the best emoji contest that we will then use. Ooh, look, Perrin. It's kind of cheating because you work here. But like a cool thing.
He did find it so fast.
Yeah, I know. And that's a good
emoji.
Punches. Bang, 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 bang.
That's a good one. Dude, let's use Perrin's. Where is that? I got to find that.
Look at that taco. Trader Joe has a cool taco that's like, hi guys, I'm here to talk about crypto.
See, where Perrin needs 5 punches, I only need 1 punch, dude. There you go.
To knock those 5 punches would take your dentures and put them out the other side of your gummy mouth.
You're assuming I have dentures? How did you know, though, for real? What the heck?
Hold on, let me take out my dentures to eat this apple pudding.
It was a rough racquetball. Okay. Hey, Nick, I'm going to throw the rundown on the screen. Here we go.
Okay, well, we're going to have a pre-rundown. For those of you that let's handle the AGIX/Nunet Airdrop stuff that everybody needs to do. If you have AGIX, which many of you do, what you need to do is go to this website. Now, I posted it in the chat. I'll post it again. And can you throw Miss Screen up real quick so I can show people? It's nunet-airdrop.singularitynet.io. I'll put it in the chat. So you go there, you go to this page. There's 2 steps to this. One, you register your wallet. So like if you have it in a MetaMask wallet, which probably is about the only place that they'll count it. If you have your AGIX, Singularity Net tokens, in a MetaMask wallet, you go to this website. You'll notice where it says up by my brain, it says connect wallet. You'll click there. You'll log in with your appropriate wallet, your Ethereum-based wallet. It will recognize that you have AGIX. That will match the snapshot. You will then be able to, you've then registered. Then in about 5 days, you can claim those tokens. And it's my favorite number. You know what my favorite number is? I know that you know. Do you know what my favorite number is, Brandon?
Yeah, 0. Free. Obviously. Free.
3, man. 1, 2, free. Anyway, so that's good, and we like that. And yes, eMeg just put up a guide to registering for airdrops. Please click on her link because hers is probably going to be better. Mine's going to probably take you to a place that's like hair replacement or something like that, because I was shopping for Brandon. Hair club for men and women and pronouns. So anyway, yes, if you have AGIX, please do that. Even if you get just a free tokens, and there's a few of them, you can claim them. Luckily, right now, no one's buying NFTs because that whole market has collapsed like a cheap suit. And so Ethereum fees are relatively low. I mean, you know, $10 a transaction versus like $300 a transaction, what it was a few months ago. So that's good. It's not great. Still not good. I mean, transactions should be pennies, not dollars, but it's better than nothing. Okay, so if you're a digital heavyweight, so here's why we want to know. And Brandon, please come on screen. Come on screen. Secret interview.
You want to chat?
So
Nick?
when we go through, especially with office hours, which is tailored towards your questions, the way that we are going to defer is heavyweights. Guess what? You get to the top of the line in questions. Yep. People are like, that's not fair. Well, you know what? Life isn't fair. Go jump into shark infested waters and tell the sharks how about life being fair. You know what they're going to do? They're going to eat you. It's going to sound like
I could hear you eating. Like that sounded like 5 seconds of digestion right there.
Do we have 5 seconds of pork chop?
Let's see what I got here. That's what it's going to sound like.
It's so good. So we need to figure out an emoji, and then when you have a question, the emoji lets us know you're a digital heavyweight, and then you put the little thing, you put like a question, and then Brandon's going to be like, oh, hell yeah, and then he's going to get your question first.
How do I not fake an emoji? Let's say I'm an outsider, and I'm like,
no one fakes emojis.
I realized that I can put a punching bag in there.
Do you fake it?
I'm just saying, what if I took an emoji, stuck it in there, and then just like put a question? What about those guys?
Stolen valor, bro.
No, if they're smart enough to game it like that, they get their question answered.
It's like that guy at the bar that's walking around with a heavyweight belt. You're like, wait a minute, that's the one you bought at Target. That's a world championship wrestling belt made of plastic.
I have the same one.
Those aren't even real. Yes. Those rhinestones are made of candy.
That's true. That's true. Nate had a good idea too. If you are a digital heavyweight, you could just post it in the digital heavyweight chat. We'll see those, and those will get precedence over here on the main show.
We'll see those at the same time as right now?
Correct. Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Man, that just blew my brain box.
We got
so digital heavyweights have their own secret chat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
they do.
Some secret squirrel chat.
Secret
All right.
Sauce.
Let's get to it. Let's hit people's questions first, because everybody knows the markets have turned good. So the market update is everything's good. Next, let's hit the questions.
Kathy, hit the questions. This is the first. Yeah. This is a good question. I have all your 10 except NEAR and AGIX. Which one should I go for my 9th? This would be her 9th probably then, since she doesn't have all her 10. She has 8. So she has 8. Kathy has 8 coins. AGIX or NEAR? Which one?
Kathy.
Are you praying? Is this the first time you've prayed ever?
Kathy.
Here we go.
I feel like Kathy, I feel like we've covered this with you. Okay. Listen, you don't have to choose either or. In the crypto space, you can buy all of these assets in tiny, tiny little fractions. So tiny, in fact, that you would have to cut a penny into 10,000 pieces to get any smaller. Well, actually, smaller than that. But that's just a way to kind of imagine it. So it's not either or. If you have $5 left to your name, $2.50 in AGIX, $2.50 in NEAR, if you were trying to divide it evenly. Now, you're not. We started talking about yesterday on the show, for those the heavyweights know that we're getting into building portfolios. I'm taking everyone from zero all the way to hedge fund manager. It's a process, right? And in the bucket of assets that we consider kind of those super important layer one protocol infrastructure plays, the kind of things where we know that in the future, in the very near future, or let's say 2 to 3 years out, many of these are going to be the kind of the infrastructure, the super highways of everything digital. Therefore, you would probably weight in your portfolio NEAR higher than AGIX. In the AI tokens would probably represent between 5 and no more than about 10% of your entire portfolio. Yes, I think they're going to be amazing. I think you're going to see some 100 or 1,000 X's out of the AI space, but I don't know if I'm too early by like 5 years on that, right? Like they've been talking about general intelligence since the 60s. So maybe I'm right, but maybe I'm not. I'm willing to take that risk with, 10% of my portfolio. However, the bulk of your portfolio, 50+%, needs to be in those layer ones. NEAR is a layer one. NEAR is a protocol layer. You can think of NEAR as what Ethereum 2 is trying to become and may be in the next 3 or 4 years if they ever get any of this crap done. But NEAR is that now. NEAR is WebAssembly. NEAR is wonderful. Anyway, that being said, so I would probably weight NEAR higher than AGIX. So if you had that same $5, you might be putting $3 into NEAR and $2 into AGIX. I hope that makes sense. Kathy, get at me. All right. Brandon, shall we move along?
Yeah, we got good. When the time is right, would love to hear your thoughts about Bitcoin options, selling calls, puts, and juicy premiums out there. Are you making any trades on this, Nick?
Well, yes, and this is another area that we're rolling out with heavyweights, where we're going to focus specifically. So the reason why we haven't really leaned into the option stuff in this show is because there is some rules around, like I can't tell you guys what to do and what not to do so much in these relatively public broadcasts. I can be a lot more specific when we're behind the wall. You guys get that, right? Because, law. And so we are going to actually focus each week, part of each week, those broadcasts, the heavyweight broadcasts are going to be specific to options and mostly around Bitcoin, but also spreading out into the Ethereum space. Many of these assets are going to eventually have options against them. And put selling, as a general rule, is the best way to enter a token, and call selling is the best way to exit if you have those markets, if they're somewhat liquid. So, well, if they're liquid enough to sell the contracts, that's all you care about, but being a net seller. So what I think is juicy right now, look, we're at 22K Bitcoin, the 22s, even like a month or two out, you're looking at the 20s or the 25s. Those premiums are fat. They're like 7% for a quarter. 7. Now, I know in crypto that doesn't sound like much, but it is much, because you're thinking, man, if I could knock out 7.5% a quarter, then we're at what? So, close to 30% plus. Well, we are 30%, but you have some kind of stacked kind of compounding on that. So 35% in a year. Look, man, if you told anybody, look at all the idiots that were putting money in Luna for 10%. And these were even well-intentioned idiots, really smart. Look at all the people that they didn't even care what they're like, 10%. I'll take all my currency units. So imagine if you on your own can take a chunk of money and do 7. The premiums in Bitcoin are pretty massive. Now, on the other side of it, as far as the options market, on the other side of it, let's say you're selling puts and Bitcoin skyrockets up and you say, oh, I miss it. Well, you didn't miss it. You still locked in premium. You do not lose selling options. You lose buying options and gambling on the market. 9 out of 10 option contracts expire worthless. So do you want to be a buyer and a gambler, or a seller and behave more like a casino? So that's going to be kind of the emphasis on the kind of trades we make. So yes, we will talk about that very mucho. All right, off we go.
Next question we have this is layer 11, it looks like. Where can NEAR be bought? It's not on Coinbase.
Right. So NEAR, it's not layer 11, bro. It's 11. L11.
No, it's the 11. No, it's the layer 11. If we're talking,
no, man, I think it's a callback. Whatever. I think it's a Stranger Things callback.
No, it's not. It would just be 11 then at that point. It's a layer 11 because he's like doing the layer 11 protocol. Nick, you're wrong. That's all there is.
Okay.
Layer 11.
We'll just let L tell us.
Okay. It's a play on crypto terms. Layer 1, layer 2, layer 11. Boom. He's that far ahead of us. Okay.
Layer 11 layer 11 would be like it
would be dust tokens that are
furry couch covers. Like, no, how do these furry couch covers help
it's
crypto?
It's a derivative of a derivative of a derivative of a derivative of an NFT. Yes. And
you can't even get to an 11th layer.
I can't. Have you not seen a pyramid scheme? Dude, bro.
It's decentralized bed sheets.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway,
where can NEAR be bought? NEAR can be. I actually swap into it through Nexo, but you can also buy it on the original Binance. You can buy it on, let's see, Bittrex may have it. KuCoin does have it, and I think now Kraken has it. I'm almost certain. I was getting it through KuCoin, but now I've been swapping. I did a fair amount of Ethereum swapping into it, and it's actually having quite a day. They just released a little presser about some of the interesting partnerships that he's creating. Quite nice, I'd say. NEAR is doing some cool stuff. Kind of like Matic. Just keeps knocking out partnerships, keeps knocking out deals, keeps being relevant. It's quite valuable, I'd say. Do you own any NEAR, Brandon?
No NEAR.
Of course not.
I also don't own any Bitcoin, but that's for other reasons.
Why do you not own Bitcoin? I'm curious. I'm not a maxi, so I'm not against you not owning Bitcoin. To be honest with you, there's a lot of reasons. I can see a lot of reasons why Bitcoin would not make sense.
Yeah. So Bitcoin to me has turned into just like what everybody's saying is the gold standard. It's okay. It seems boring to me when there's other assets out there that I can be putting my investment into, other assets that have actual utility and are going to be used for something that can escalate a lot more quickly than Bitcoin. That's where I'm at.
So yeah, utility is interesting. The whole thing is, and what he's referring to is correct. When you're looking at these assets, you want something that could achieve use, utility, and adoption. Well, for many people, the utility changes based on your economic situation. For instance, for Brandon, I mean, he's obviously rich. He's got 45 children, most of them which he knows their names. But maybe his situation, his finances, put it in a way where Bitcoin doesn't really make sense. It's not super exciting, doesn't have a lot of utility. It certainly has use and adoption, right? I mean, it's the most adopted crypto asset. We know that because of market cap and kind of on-chain metrics. But it's not so massive that it can't be usurped. I mean, right now, if Ethereum pulled a double from here, if it pulled a triple, it would pass. It would go right past market cap-wise Bitcoin. And everybody would be like, no, it's the end of the world, and all the Bitcoin maxis would be angry and all this. But the reality is that market cap has to do with token allocation. There's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin, and you have 100+ million Ethereum, you have billions of Cardano. Many of these layer ones are going to pass Bitcoin. So that's the market cap analysis. That doesn't really make sense. But you have Brandon on one side, probably doesn't look at Bitcoin as being all that exciting. It looks like gold, right? But you have some family in Venezuela that They have that kind of socialized electricity where everybody gets electricity for free, and whatever. But some family where there is some level of hyper or hyperbolic inflation, where like every day the value of your currency is less, it might make sense. Matter of fact, they're doing this. Some families have gotten smart. They bought old Bitcoin mining rigs, which they're not very efficient, but if you plug them into free electricity, it doesn't matter how efficient they are. If they spit out any Bitcoin, you can put food on the table for your kids. And that has been happening. So depending on your situation can determine the use case. So in that use, utility, adoption. So for me, I try to go net, what is the use case? Now, as a store of value, that's tricky. It does store value. Does it tend to be an inflation hedge? Well, it may over time look like, for instance, if you go back to 2009, January 3rd, 2009, obviously it has outperformed not only inflation, but every asset in human history. Like all of them, period, full stop, nothing even gets close. Bitcoin wins, hands down, there is no argument because math. But in the short term, when you have transitionary periods, dislocations in supply and demand, and weirdnesses in the economics around that can look perverted, that can look like when CPI looks gross, it's easy for everyone to go, inflation's out of control, it's the end of the world. Even though it's not inflation, and yes, it actually is transitory, but transitory doesn't mean tomorrow it changes. Transitory can be 18 months, it can be 2 years, right? People are very short-term thinkers now. We're all very short-term thinkers. That's fine. But that's not the way you want to be as an investor. You want to be longer term because you want to see trends fully play out. You don't want to be trading on news that you get from CNBC because those rubes, they do not know what they're talking about. Jim Cramer, nice guy, probably was really awesome back in the day when he ran money and he was like all strung out on coke. That's the Jim Cramer that I want because that guy like misses nothing. This new Jim Cramer, he's pretty weak. And so I wouldn't be like following Jim Cramer's advice. You will get broke. It's like following Mark Cuban's advice. Cool dude, really nice guy, great humanitarian, worst investor on the planet, period, full stop. One of the dumbest humans you'd ever meet. Nice guy though. But you wouldn't follow his trades or his strategy or his advice because he has none. All he's done is squandered the few $1 billion he got years ago. He has made no money. He has actually squandered. His entire career has been slowly squandering his fortune that he lucked into because Yahoo is a terrible company that makes terrible decisions. We can unpack that another time. Point being, as a store of some amount of value and as a long-term inflation hedge, Bitcoin probably does work, but we don't know how much of that is network effects of Bitcoin reaching more people. I don't think any hard fixed currency, or if you want to call Bitcoin a currency of sorts or a money, hard assets don't do well as currency because currency needs elasticity. It needs to be able to expand and contract as economies expand and contract. And this is why gold never worked. Gold was never, ever an inflation hedge, ever. Not ever. And people are starting to realize that now. And to many people, Bitcoin looks a lot like gold. Brandon, I'm guessing you kind of look at it like gold. And in the near term, it might look like there are other opportunities that make more sense where your investment dollar might have more explosive force. Am I right to assume these things?
Yeah, that's good. This might actually lead into this next question too. Let's hit this since we're right here.
Did we just do a long, circuitous lead-in?
This is crazy because, okay, Nick, you indicated after listening to Anthony Scaramucci, you were rethinking Bitcoin investment percentage. What are your end thoughts, or what did you end up deciding on that?
First of all, let's walk that back. One, Anthony and I talk a lot. Anthony's a cool dude. But we never really even discussed Bitcoin. So I don't know. That may have been just lost in translation. And we never talk about Bitcoin because that's not really, we both own it, but I don't think that's like an interesting discussion. We haven't kind of, mined the depths, plumbed to the very, recesses of the ocean that is value. We tend to talk more about macro stuff, right? Like where's the world at right now? How do you guys see it? How do we see it? So we kind of like talk like that. But for me, I'm not in the complete Brandon camp that no, Bitcoin don't make no sense. I am in the camp that I think your investment dollars have more firepower in other areas. So while I might have 25% of my currency units in Bitcoin, only a third of that might be stagnant. The rest of it's probably in the options market, just spinning in circles, selling puts against cash, selling calls, selling puts against cash, selling calls, wash, rinse, repeat. Just net selling, net selling, net selling. The only time I'm buying options in Bitcoin, in the Bitcoin kind of options market, is when I'm buying back contracts that I sold and they've deteriorated in value, so I can go ahead and lock in those profits and then redeploy that cash as another put. And then the way I speculate against Bitcoin is in the contracts that I sell. If I think Bitcoin's going to go mooning, like right now with Bitcoin at 22 and change, almost 23K, would I be selling calls at the money? Probably not. I would sell some at the money, but I would be selling a little bit further out. I want to capture some of that run. Do I think Bitcoin's going to end the year at 20K? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, I think we have one more black swan event. I think that is, we need to figure out what happens with the Bitcoin that gets laid on the market because of MT Gox, the Magic the Gathering, the final distribution of those tokens as they round out that civil rehabilitation. And so I think that is probably important to figure out, whatever that timeline looks like and when those tokens hit the market. If they hit the market, if 150,000 token Bitcoin hit the market, well, this market cannot absorb that. But then again, of the 150, about 90% have already been spoken for, because a lot of those creditors, they've already agreed. They've sold those tokens already to hedge funds and other entities. They've already pre-sold those like years ago. Many of them also agreed to a cash out where they said, listen, we'll just take the cash amount. So the fund, well, the entity that is handling the civil rehabilitation, they've also been using, I think they've been selling Bitcoin along the way a little bit. And then they had paused those sales, things like that. Anyway, long story short, that still could leave 15 to 20, 25,000 Bitcoin to hit the market. My guess is dummies like Saylor will come in and try to buy some more, because why wouldn't he? Because that's it. I mean, he's a degenerate gambler, and that's what gamblers do. But other entities will come forward. They will try to scoop up some of that Bitcoin, absorb that kind of flood on the market, because Bitcoin they couldn't even, listen, the other day, Bitcoin dropped because of a 650 Bitcoin sale. 650 Bitcoin tanked Bitcoin from 21,000 to 17,000 in a day. 650 on Coinbase Pro. So what does that tell you? Well, most people have parked their Bitcoin in private wallets. They pulled them off exchanges. So you have a really illiquid market where a big sell order on a couple exchanges can nuke the price, because there's no one to absorb that. On the other side of it, a big purchase, if someone came in now and said, I want 100,000 Bitcoin, they would try to do it over the counter, but there's not a lot of OTC. No one wants, not any institution is not going to be selling Bitcoin at these prices. They'd be stupid. Most of them they're already getting nuked. So it's going to be that kind of pressure would pop Bitcoin to 40,000. And you say, well, that's not that much, like 100,000, So we don't know, until we know the timeline of that. We don't know what Bitcoin looks like. But as far as the infrastructure plays, the layer ones, I think you can go into those, and there's some good money. I mean, look at Matic. In a month, it's up 155%. It was almost up. It was almost 190% last night or something. Just stupid. But anyway, just keep that in mind. And yes, Tom, last thing. Yes, the merge will happen in September, but the merge doesn't mean anything. The merge doesn't change the fee. The merge is not 2.0. The merge is one iterative step along 2.0. It converts most of Ethereum to proof of stake, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't change the fee structure. And on that note, digital heavyweights, will see you tomorrow. For the rest of you, we'll see you Thursday. And let us know in the chat. If you're a heavyweight, say, yo, bro, I'm a heavyweight, bro, and put some cool emoji. We still haven't figured that out. We'll see you on the next one. Stay out of trouble. Stay in school. Don't do anything my poor, insolvent drunk strung out on meth or Brandon wouldn't do, or any of his 17 children. Pew pew. Pew pew.